Just gonna open up the CPU box. That's the CPU. That's the fan that goes on it. Careful, do not touch the back. Now, the motherboards do come with the installer tool to put the CPU into the tool and then install the CPU properly on the board. So let's use that. It looks like that. Just gonna open it. Now I like to keep everything, originally back in the box. That's the tool. This side is up when you're installing it into the board. Notice the little triangle that says pin on it. That's where there's a little triangle on the CPU. You're gonna place it the same way. Just press down on the lever here and pull to open. Then hold the metal and gently pry off the plastic piece. Do not touch the pins. If you touch the pins, well, it's garbage. Take the CPU. Do not open it over the pins in case you drop it. Yes, I know I'm touching with my hand. No, I don't care. There's a little tiny arrow right there. You're going to want to match that arrow with the side that says pin. And you're going to want to click. It's going to click in. Stupid thing. I hate all this shit. Okay. Now, when you look at it in the front, there's also an arrow in the front. And the writing, at least in English, is upright where it says this side up. Now, if you look at here, when you close this, you'll also see the arrow here. All the arrows have to match the same direction. Simply place it in there, hold the CPU as you're pulling this plastic piece off, and put it back into your motherboard box. Now, you're going to want to just drop it in like that, hold slightly back, it'll go underneath the screw, and it will tighten and put the lever back. Double check that it's straight, and it looks alright. That's it for the CPU. Very, very crucial moment. I like to put everything back into its original box. That way, if there's ever an issue, everything's in the warranty and can be returned. If you're losing a part, they might not take it or might give you a new part and then they'll take the original piece out of it. Now, these things, I never understood it. It's so stupid the way they pack them up. You gotta pull the wire from inside the fan. It's just the way that they pack them up so that you can actually install it. Now, when you install it on these boards, you're gonna want to plug it in to a port. I don't know if you guys can see here. I'm going to turn the board. So there's a white piece. The white one right there. If you read the board, it'll say the top one is a CPU fan and the other one's a CPU optional. I always plug mine into the CPU fan. So let's go ahead and do that. Come on, you stupid thing. Alright, got that in. Now you're going to want to leave, you don't want to install it like that. It doesn't actually have to be upright, okay? Because your fan blades will be touching and it's a no-no. Turn it to the side, align the little peg legs on it. Notice, very, very easy. All you do is you push down and it will make a click noise, and that's it. If you want to release it, you'll just have to turn and pull. Okay? Very simple. You want to release it, you fucked up, did something wrong, excuse my French. You turn it counterclockwise and then you pull. Turn it back, click down. Now the RAM, very important. On these boards, on the side of the fan, it'll tell you DIM B1, DIM B2, DIM A1, DIM A2. So it's all in sequence. You're going to want to plug it into A1. One side doesn't open, one side opens. Make sure you look at it before you try shoving it in and get it right the first time. You don't want to be breaking stuff. Put the left side in first and the right side in, and it should click and close. Don't apply too much pressure, you'll break off the stupid plastic cover if you have one. That's it for the motherboard. Now this is a 24-pin ATX connector. You plug that into your motherboard. So you plug that in from the motherboard to the PSU, which is the power supply unit. Your PSU, which is the power supply unit, also has another connector, which is right here. You gotta plug that in as well. It's 8 pins, and then you push the power switch button, and your board should power on. Just be careful that none of your wires will be touching the fan, and you should be all right. Also, we're gonna do another video on updating the BIOS, enabling the 4G communications so that the board can read more than just a few cards. Now, any one of these slots right here is good to plug in your hard drive. You just take a SATA cable, you plug it into there, into the hard drive, and obviously you plug in the power cable to the power supply. For the purposes of this kind of end of the rig building, we'll only use the one power supply, and we'll incorporate the other one as we go on with the videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this up to the shelf. I'm gonna mark this hole, and I'm gonna mark 2 or 3 more other holes with a Sharpie. We're gonna drill them, and we're gonna install the board. Now, when we do finish up with the holes, what we're going to want to do is we're going to take the same size bolts, put them into the holes, on the motherboard, and on the back portion, if you notice, there is circles. These circles do not, as long as you're within the circle, do not interfere with the board. What I'm going to do is the same thing I did with the other 3 rigs I have, is I'm going to put 2 nuts on them. And when I do that, I still have enough room to put the bolt through the side of the shelving unit and put another nut on it. That's just my very, very cheap way of creating a spacer. So like I said, the back of the board doesn't actually touch any of the metal on the shelving unit.